Why is it you hear a song on the radio and now you can't get it out of your head? Sometimes you don't hear a whole song, it's just a song. I'm going to look at this today. It is a TV, so there you go. Not a terribly old one, I'm going to guess. Oh no, it's got the date on there. Oh, it's a 2000 TV, so it's 5 years old. I was going to say it's a bit older than that, but 5 years old. Backlights have gone. I'll show you what it's doing. That's it. I'll show you that again, just in case you missed it. You can still see the logo behind. So it's obviously got a backlight problem. This ain't a customer's TV. This is one that I've just had underneath the bench, and somebody mentioned about the stacking method, which is not an official method. I think it's something that Russ did about, oh God, must be 15, 20 years ago. And he put a video on YouTube calling it the stacking method. It's where you just find the faulty LED and stack another one on top of it. But I've got an hour free, and seeing somebody asked, a couple of people always ask, you know, we can't buy strips from China, we don't want to buy them from YouTube, we don't really want to fit any strips, is there another way of getting the TV back on? Well, this is the way, but this is not a proper fix, but it will bring your picture back. Green light is on, so the TV is on. There is a picture there, there will be some writing behind, but we can't see it because of the backlight failure. Now you've seen me take the stands off and the backs off these a million and one times. It is just a Vestel 32 with an aerial port though, so an aerial port, how could me, with a satellite port for some FreeSat, which at the moment seems to be more popular than Freeview, but it's because people don't want to have an aerial on their house anymore, but they've got an old satellite dish, so they still want to use that. Okay. Anyway, I won't bore you with taking the back off. Just give me a moment, we'll edit down to that bit. More than likely just one, maybe two that have gone faulty. Just going to take this bezel off, which holds the speakers. That's about it really. We'll need to take that out. Just unplugging the LED, so there we have 2 strips of 11 as per normal. Let's switch on and see if it's obvious. It's not always obvious which is the faulty one. So this is not as easy as it possibly looks. So the bottom set all lighting up, they seem to be fine, and I'm getting 30 volts. Top set lighting up, seems to be fine, and I'm getting 30 volts. Told you it wasn't going to be easy. Right. So we need to go one strip at a time. So which one of those 2 strips has got the problem? let's short out the top one. With a blob, switch on. So if the bottom set comes on now by itself, which it does, and it's fine, we know the fault is somewhere on that top strip. Or so you would logically think, but of course if the PSU is closing down the backlight circuit because of an overcurrent, then reducing a strip reduces the current. So watch this space. Right, what I've decided to do here is to get out my power supply. I don't use this very often, so it's nice to bring it out and give it some use. I'm setting the voltage to 3.5 volts DC, or 3.6 as you can see there. Each LED can take probably up to 4 volts, but they never get 4 volts. Anything over 3 volts will normally find a faulty one. It will make it either burn out very quickly, it will make it flicker, you'll be able to tell. So far my diagnosis is there's a faulty one on this top strip. Let's give each one 3.5 volts, or 3.6, and see if any start to, well, show some difference. I'm also going to be checking, of course, for a high current on one of them. That is what I suspect. So after going through all of them, my diagnosis now kind of changes, because the top strip didn't seem to have any problems. But the third one along, I think it was, on the bottom strip, that was the one that flickered. So that indicates to me that that's the weakest of the bunch. Is it going to be that one that's stopping the set from powering on? So I think at this stage of the game, just get the soldering iron out. Let's short that one out for now and see if the power supply stops shutting the circuit down. So we've shorted it out and it does come on. Is it going to stay on? If it stays on for a few seconds, then we know that that was just the one faulty diode. Now, of course, this is not technically a repair, even though it is a repair. The proper repair is a new set of diodes, but sometimes this type of thing helps someone, and it's this that's lifted it here, the little power supply. We've lifted it up to 3.5 volts to test a 3-volt diode, and that's what showed us the flickering one. So I've now unsoldered that, so continuity can pass through. I need to put a bit of tape over it. When I say continuity can pass through, I mean continuity will pass through this spare LED that I'm going to solder in here. I could just leave a blob of solder on, but why, if I've got the spare part, don't I just stick it in for good measure? So I'm going to solder this in, and then hopefully they'll all lit up, or even light up, and we'll give it a test. I'm just going to score a few holes either side. If you are doing this, just make sure you got the continuity right. At the moment, positive is on the right-hand side. I've already got a piece of wire lined up for that. Anyway, we'll stick it in, and then hopefully they'll all come on again. Okay, so that's it soldered. I am going to leave it just flapping around there. I don't really need to stick it down because the reflector sheet will hold it in place, and I want to make sure I get it in place exactly. But let's just test that they're all going to light up now, so we can say we've got a full set of backlights, which hopefully in return will give us a working TV. Now this is the bit normally where I proudly show off the TV is working even though I've just replaced the one diode. The TV should now bounce back into action, but something has happened. And the TV has now lost all of its power. I've got no standby light. There's no power at all. And the first thing that comes to my mind is, I do remember plugging the mains lead back into the power supply. Maybe I didn't plug it in correctly and lifting the TV set up. Maybe they come out of the power supply. Spoiler alert, I'll just cut it down. It's got nothing to do with that, even though for the next 20 minutes I do disassemble the TV again and have a look. And I suddenly noticed that no, the power supply is still connected. Everything is still wired up. The TV should come on. For some particular reason, and I can't give you an answer to this because even as I'm doing the post-edit thing and a bit of commentary here, I still don't know what's caused it and haven't had a chance to look at it. But the bank of sockets that I plug into, which is connected to my kind of safety transformer, it's an isolation transformer. But the isolation transformer is working, but there's no power coming to the bank of sockets. I didn't realise that till many hours after this, so the fact I'm now dismantling this TV again is absolutely pointless. It takes me several minutes to realise that it's got nothing to do with the TV. The TV should have come on. So let's just skip to that bit. Thank you. This is the bit where I'm waiting for the TV to display there is no signal screen, but all I can see now is a blank screen and I start to get very nervous. But the backlights are there. This is just one of those not terribly old Vestels, but it's a Vestel that seems to be very slow. But you can see the backlights are there, but I'm not getting the no signal message, which sometimes you do if you're on the free view channels. Maybe this one isn't. But I'll get a remote control out and just test to see that I still have an image and all should be okay. So, if you need to know which LED has gone faulty on your strip rather than replacing whole brand new strips if you're on a budget, that's the way to do it. If you haven't got a separate power supply that can give you 3.5 volts, then a good battery. A quick 5-volt battery if you've got one, that will help you. As long as you don't run it for too long, you'll be absolutely fine. You will find the one that's failing and flicker. That will make you recognise which one is the faulty one, and you can either short it out or replace it. And this is what we used to call the stacking method years ago. Not that we do it now, but sometimes it's good to use on old TVs to get them going again. Thank you.